Welcome to what's supposed to be the first day of harvest here. Not quite what I envisioned. A little bit of humidity in the air today. All right, well, looks like the fog finally dried up, so let's out the field and see just how bad it's going to be. Nate, the way this is going to work is whenever we move fields, you follow behind me in the grain buggy. Mom's going to be driving the header trailer, and then after we get the header hooked up to the combine, then you'll bring her back here to the semi truck. That's the way that's the way it's going to work on every field. You're straight on everything I told you on the record keeping, weights and everything, and communicating that with Mom and everything.
Yeah,
All right. And then Kelly, after we get first sample cut, we'll come back here and see if we can figure out this aflatoxin testing thing. All right, let's go to the field and get this started. All right, let's get this party started. Oh, come on. Give me a break. Freaking battery's dead. This doesn't bode well for harvest. Let her charge up a minute. Oh, there we go. There we go. Well, luckily, we don't have to go very far to get to our first field. Gotta go right down here, down the road behind the gin. I'll just go ahead and tell y'all up front, I don't know what to expect this harvest as far as videos. You know, without Zach here, me and Kelly really having to pull double duty. Nate's, not yet capable of doing a lot of the things Zach was. I'm the primary mechanic. We always get behind on harvest videos, probably gonna be even more so now. I've got several choices. I can either try to put out videos more quickly and more regularly, but the quality is going to be lower of them just because I'm simply not going to have the time to edit them like I like to. Or, I can probably put out fewer videos and maybe delayed and hopefully put out a little bit higher quality video. So it's up to y'all. Y'all just let me know what your preference is in the comments below. We're going to do the best that we can. Probably not going to do quite as much filming during harvest, not going to have quite as many harvest videos as normal just because I simply don't have the time. Each harvest video I put out takes me anywhere from 5 to 10 hours, worth of downloading footage, editing it, audio corrections, color corrections, then uploading it, the thumbnails, all that kind of stuff. A lot of work goes into it that this fall I'm probably not going to have the time to dedicate to it like I normally do. So y'all just bear with us. We're going to do the best that we can. Well, here's the first field of several of what's going to be probably our most miserable corn crop ever. Give us a little while. I'll let you know just how miserable it's going to be. All right, after the worst drought in 10 years, time to say just how poor this corn's going to be. There we go. All right, first thing we're going to try and do is get the combine set. And pretty sure that's going to take quite a while. We got extreme variance in the field, small cobs, a few big cobs. We're going to try and maximize getting every kernel in the bin. So we're going to got to do moisture calibration and yield calibration also. So we're going to try and get some of these things figured out, and I'll bring you back here in a little bit.
Welcome to the start of corn harvest on Labor Day. So we are actually laboring on Labor Day. Must be nice just to drive around. Yeah. Alright, I'll call you when I'm ready. Bye. Bye.
Alright, we've cut our calibration loads or whatever, and I'm going to check the performance of the combine, see how well I've got it dialed in. And main thing is to make sure that when we get in good spots like this right here, we're not throwing too much out the back. And then when we get in bad areas of the field where we got small rubbery cobs, that we're actually threshing all the kernels off the cobs and we're not blowing any of the lighter weight stuff out the back. Here we are down the middle of a pass where we had some really good corn for this year. So we're not splitting the cobs long ways, so we got our concaves adjusted about right. And we don't want any more than about 2 kernels per square foot. That's about a bushel per acre. We got one there. That one doesn't even count. That's not even a mature kernel. We got one over there, so we're right at, between 1 to 2 kernels per square foot. Check here right down the row. Make sure we're not having any butt shelling from the head. Now we're seeing that 1 to 2 kernels per square foot. Not bad. When you're about 18% moisture corn, that's about as good as you're going to do. Anyway, no harvest machine's going to be 100% efficient. Now let's go find a poorer area of the field where we got some real small cobs and see what it's doing over there. All right, this is a not so good area of the field. See our cob diameters a lot smaller there, a lot fewer cobs. Check and make sure we're not having any go down through the stripper plates on the header. Well, it looks like it's getting them all. Seeing a little bit more butt shelling here down the road. Of course, when you got really small cobs, they're going to kind of get wedged down in there and going to get a few more kernels knocked off. Still not bad at all though. Not bad at all. See how many kernels per square foot we got here. Yeah, got one kernel there. One way over here, that's more than a foot away. Yeah, it don't have much loss at all. Getting it all threshed off these tiny cobs. Yeah, looks like I nailed the settings on the first try. We just need to clean up our grain tank sample just a hair, and I think we will be good to go. We didn't start with much out here in the field to begin with, and it definitely looks like we're not going to be leaving much behind. I wouldn't recommend anybody try to hunt doves over this field. If you do kill any doves over this field, they probably gonna be some pretty skinny birds. Well, everything's calibrated, everything's set. Let's see how quickly we can mow through some of these ugly acres. Sure glad I'm not going to look this anymore this year.
Oh, it's just a waiting game. Wait to have a truck and then take truck back to bin dump in whatever bin Matt wants me to dump in. We have a variety of 1, 2, 3, or 4. So I don't know.
Alright, I want to clear up a few things for any potential new viewers that we haven't been following us all year long. First thing, during June and July, we went about 43 days with little to no rain. Most of our farms received a ½ inch of rain or less at that time. Also had scorching temperatures. Probably 75% of those days had a temperature of 95 degrees or above, and it just flat out cooked our corn crop. There towards the end of July, we did start receiving rains again, which really benefited our soybean and our cotton crop, but by that time it was too late for our corn crop. So right now my best guess is we're looking at the worst corn crop that we've ever produced. You know, up till now, the worst corn crop we'd ever had was 2012, had a yield of 91 bushels per acre. And before I started today, I was expecting to average probably somewhere between 50 and 70 bushels an acre overall. Also, our harvest crew looks a little different because long-term employee Zach left us about 3 weeks ago, and temporarily to fill in for him, we got our middle son Nate. He's going to help us out through fall harvest. Do what?
So on the first dump, on the sheet here, after I dump, I need to put that negative number down, and then after I do the second dump, that's when I hit the total, right?
Yes, before you start dumping, zero your scales out, and then, you know, completely empty it, and whatever the negative number is, that's how many pounds you put in the truck. And then do the same thing for the second load, although you probably won't be able to completely empty your grain buggy on the second load. Then add those two numbers that you wrote down, add them together, and that's how many pounds we got on the first load.
Yes, sir. I was double checking.
That was Nate right there on the radio, just double checking, making sure he's doing it right, cause this year he's on the grain buggy instead of Kelly. Kelly moved over to Helga. She's going to be doing the grain hauling, which this isn't her first rodeo on the semi truck. She used to do it before Zach came to work for us, so she's familiar with it. But with Nate being there on the grain buggy, he's got the critical job of keeping up with all the weights that go into the truck, because all of our corn is going into the bin. And in order for us to know what each farm yields, how much we got to pay landlords, all that kind of stuff, we got to have really accurate records of what we harvested off each field, and that's going to be his job in addition to operating the grain cart. But overall, I mean, we still shelling out the inroads on this farm, haven't really got out in the main part of the field, and I'm actually a little bit surprised by yields. You know, we're right there at the upper end of kind of what I was expecting, and haven't even gotten to the better parts of the field. So maybe the corn's still going to be terrible, don't get me wrong. You know, this is only one variety in one field. I think this is Pioneer 0953. I know we're going to have worse corn out there than this for sure. But overall, I'm a little pleasantly surprised so far. So I have to wait and see what this rest of this field does. My other main concern is aflatoxin. Because of the drought, hot, dry weather, that's a prime environment for aflatoxin. And crop insurance says they don't want any put in the bin before it's tested for aflatoxin, because once it goes in the bin, if it tests for positive aflatoxin coming out, they can't pay me. So they need to know about whether it's got aflatoxin in there before it goes into the bin. So I scrambled last week and found a test kit online, and we're going to test every load that goes in the bin and keep an accurate record of what's contaminated and what's not contaminated. Hopefully, keep our fingers crossed, none of it's contaminated, because it's going to be almost impossible to sell if it does test positive for aflatoxin.
And that just completes the first load of corn harvest. All right, put these numbers down. We got about 37,000 already on the truck. I'm gonna move on to the second one. Dad's out there, so see how all that goes.
It's kind of been a little bit of a rough start to the day. Started off foggy this morning, didn't drive till right after lunch. Did my first pass around the inroads, dug my snout down into the ground, being it, gonna have to replace it in the morning. And then we got one load cut, and went back with Kelly to the bin to try and figure out that aflatoxin test. Luckily, the test tested negative, but started unloading in the bin, and the spreader at the top of the bin was not spreading. I had to take off the top of the elevator, the Versa loop where it dumps into that bin, get a long bar, try and get down there and prise to get it loosened up and freed up. Now here it is, 6 o'clock, we're working on our second load of the day. Well, I sure was happy about that. Load tested negative for aflatoxin though. Whew. I'm sure we'll probably have some test positive for it, but you know, starting off with a negative test, that's a good way to start.
Okay, so there's been some difficulties today, specifically that bin, but I think we've got it fixed, ready to go. Spinner wasn't spinning, got some junk caught up in there, now it's all spreading evenly. Oh, somebody's hanging out with me. So now I have to get this out, and I have to get a sample to test for aflatoxin. Okay, I've got my sample, got my book, and now I'm about to go in to the shop and show you how I have to test for aflatoxin. Apparently, the AC doesn't work. Keeps going in and out, and now there's a loud squealing sound from the truck, and it's hot. So, haven't been feeling the best today either. So, doing my best. Try and put a smile on my face, I guess. The first truck didn't have aflatoxin, so that's good. So let's see if this one does. Okay, first what I've done is taken it out, and each one we're putting into bags labeled truck 1, truck number 2. And then we are putting the aflatoxin test inside each bag. So in case there's any discrepancy, we can go back and we can test them again. And I'm gonna grind the corn up in our fancy little grinder right over here that Matt got. We're using an awesome maple bacon moonshine jar. So we're gonna get that zeroed out. I'm gonna weigh out exactly 10 grams. It's gonna go in there, and then we're gonna put it in there and grind it up. So I've grounded out the corn, and now we're gonna add 20 milliliters of solution. I'm gonna put the top back on. We're gonna shake it up real good, and then we're going to take a coffee filter like so, and then we're going to squeeze out the solution into that jar. All right, testing's done. 2 lines mean we're negative, and it looks like we are negative, so we can dump the truck. All right, number 2 is down. I'm also testing the moisture, so we do it 3 different times, and I got an average of 18.3. Come over here and keep it in our log that it was 18.3.
Well, the first day of a miserable corn harvest is just about done. We're gonna call it a day after we get done with this farm. We got like 2 more passes on this 30-acre farm. My yield's done dropped down a little bit. It's sitting at about 65 bushels an acre. And I thought that this was potentially just a little bit better corn than some of my other. So I think we got this header pretty well adjusted. It's doing a pretty good job of pulling what little corn out here into the head. Occasionally I can look down and see a pile of kernels, or one of those nubbin ears got past the deck plates and went through the knife rolls. But other than that, it's doing about as good as the head can do under these conditions. We're going to shut down. It's a little early tonight. Like I said, we're done with this farm, and Kelly says the truck's making some squalling noises again, so I'm gonna try and do a little diagnosing on that, I reckon. Hopefully we'll have a clear morning tomorrow morning and we can get an earlier start today. We got a 60-acre farm across the road and if we don't have any problems, it shouldn't be any problem getting it done. So I'll see y'all back here in the morning.
And now the lights don't even freaking work. Ah, bless, man, I swear. Can't have nothing nice at all. You're supposed to dump in the dark then. That's awesome. I give up. I really do.
Well, this is the first casualty of drought corn. Short stalks, low hanging ears, catch in the ground, and that's what happens. Luckily we got a replacement here. Just gotta swap out a little hardware. All right, ready for another day. I'm so sick and tired of this heat. I've been literally soaked every single day for the last almost 3.5 months. My clothes have gotten to the point that don't matter how many times I wash them, as soon as they get wet, I just smell sour the rest of the day. I'm so ready for fall to get here. Cooler weather and lower humidity. Whew. Well, I kind of wish we started on this farm yesterday instead of the one across the road. That farm yesterday kind of got my hopes up a little bit that maybe the corn crop wasn't just quite as bad as what I thought. Well, this is one of the better spots of the field right here. There just ain't very many cobs of corn out here in this field. I mean, all I'm doing is just running blank stalks through the corn header. And this right here is one of my best varieties that I've ever planted, Pioneer 1464. I think we just found out that it does not have great stress tolerance. So that Pioneer 0953 that I was in yesterday, it had a whole lot better stress tolerance apparently than what this variety does. It's going to be a long day. You got 60 acres of this, but we've got some pretty good bottom ground down through there, so I know it's not all going to be miserable anyway.
Hey, I wasn't able to finish off this load.
That's okay. Welcome to day 2. It's taken 2 hours and 30 minutes to get one truck.
I think I still have some in the tank though.
2 hours and 30 minutes. Feel like I'm working for free.
I mean, there just ain't no ears on there. Don't hear any rumbling going through the combine like we normally do. Hey, this is the dustiest corn I've ever shelled, and it's still got a little bit of dew on there. Get later this afternoon, I won't even be able to see the header. This stuff's just been dead a long time.
All right, after 45 minutes of having to test this stuff and sitting here with a full truck, this has no aflatoxin. This would be the 4th truck with no aflatoxin, so we're gonna dump this in the pit. And we're gonna get this truck done so I can go back out there and get another one, even though it's taking forever. Got a kid off of school today. It's a stupid process, but it's a process, and because if we want to get paid, it has to be done. So, lots of climbing in and out of this truck for somebody who hasn't done that in about 6 years. So, it's fun, and it's hotter than Hades, and this air conditioning's not working. So, loving it, loving it. Okay, please, Lord Jesus, let me be where I can dump it, because I don't feel like getting back in this thing. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Close enough. All right, so before I dump, you gotta turn this guy on. Since we're going in 4, start her up. Now Matt wants the fans on, our fan. So I'm gonna go turn the fan on, blow out anything else that's in there, just in case. Can't be too safe than sorry. With green bins, you can kind of blow it out of there. There is a little bit of slight aflatoxin in there, even though all of our tests have said they're negative. So we don't have to quarantine our corn right now. So let's remember how to do this. Yeah, I think it's like this. I don't remember. And fan 1's gonna go to on. There we go, baby. Normally don't turn the fans on when we dump because it blows. There's lovely little cornflakes everywhere, but might as well go ahead and better be safe than sorry. If I don't lose 50 pounds by the end of this freaking harvest, I'm gonna be pissed. Blowing nicely. Want to make sure it's below 40. So I probably open it a little more. With it going to that Versa loop, it's really gonna pull the amps on here. I'll open it just a little more. So, hold this thing on my knee. Looking good.
At least we're gonna have one spot of decent corn. Got down here in this deep soil right alongside the creek and making darn near close to normal yields on this. Oh, over 200. Nice, real nice. Over 3,500 bushels an hour. And a few more spots like this on this farm will bring that average up in a hurry. I never thought I'd see yields ranging from 5 bushels an acre to 225 bushels an acre in the same field. First time for everything though.
Yeah, so when you hear it completely come all the way around, you know the spreader's working. So we're about up to, let's see. Woo! That's what we want to hear. We've also got some thunderstorms popping up as well, so checking out radar. Let's see. We got some cornflakes flying around. So that's I'm already, it's hot. Oh. It's not trying to rain. Waiting on the new guy. Taking his time. Woo, Matt got that full. Now he knows how I feel. All these years, Matt overloading that daggum thing. Woo, son. Barza is heavy. Doesn't want to rain for 40-something days when it needs to. And then when you're trying to get the crop out of the field, what does it do?
Well, this ain't gonna be too fun. My windshield wipers are barely working, and it's starting to pour all over my windshield.
And now it's raining. Mother Nature, she's so fun. I quit. I want to show you guys something. That would be us right there. Yep. Just blew up right over us. Oh, this is gorgeous. Look at that. I think we're done. When your job relies on a mood-swinging Mother Nature, just makes it so much more fun.
Well, crap, this rain came out of nowhere. Well, the first rain shower moved through, but it looks like there's another one heading right for us. My rain gauge at the house, which is like a third of a mile that way, says we only got like 3 100s. I know we got more than that. I think we got closer to a 1/10 of an inch. If the sun will come out, it's not enough to knock us out for the rest of the day, but if more comes along, that might be it until it dries up a little bit.
Well, it looks like Mother Nature's not going to be very nice to us. There's more coming. So I've got a truck Not gonna cover the pit since the truck's covering the pit, and I'm gonna go test this because we have to test every single truck. So it did come a flood, as you can tell. So now it's a waiting game until they tell me to come back because I'm gonna have to go test this, but it looks like that may be getting a little angry. So yeah, I don't know. That comes near us, we might be done for the day. Oh yeah, it's pouring over there. Gotta love it, 30% chance a day right on top of us. Never fails. Just wouldn't be harvest without it raining or things going wrong. So, one day at a time. Right, Drake? Just one day at a time. So I'm gonna go play experiment again. Although I did love chemistry class back in the day, so. Well, the chopper that Matt bought is now done. As I was chopping the corn, it melted itself up into the top. I literally pressed it 4 times, and it is now currently a part of that, and look what it's doing! Oh, wow. Yeah, I think we're done. It's definitely gonna put us out for a while.
Well, second rain shower moved through. Rain gauge shows we got somewhere on around 4/10 of an inch or so. So looks like we are done today. Hopefully that'll be all we get, and get back in shelling some more corn tomorrow. Actually, the ground got a little bit squishy there today. Oh well, sure could have used this back in middle to late June, but better late than never, I reckon. So it's getting the combine ready to go tomorrow. One last thing we got to do tomorrow morning, and I'll bring you back then. I guess I'll just go back to the office and get the first corn harvest video made a week or two before I was planning on being able to. So y'all back here in the next one.